Okay, let's try this again. Since well, technical difficulty, my microphone wasn't working. New equipment, working out the bugs, tested it out, everything was working, and then realized I had the wrong adapter on. Then the battery died, went to change out the battery, and apparently my GoPro decided to melt the battery in, and the cap came off the battery. So now my other GoPro has a battery stuck in it, and I don't know how to get it out. So looks like I'm going to be disassembling a GoPro today. Anyways, welcome to my first moto vlog. And so it's for me it's my second. For you it's your first, since I didn't get any audio off the first one. So really all I'm doing is testing out the motovlog setup here, and so I've started doing more motorcycle content again, and so I'm gonna start doing some vlogging on the bike. And so today I just want to kind of do an introduction. I'm Justin Bethune. If you haven't followed me on any of my other stuff yet, I am one of the owners of Build Something Media. And so we do media content, we shoot commercials, we own a podcast studio, we're filming a movie, all that good stuff. I am the resident motorcycle guy. And so with that being said, I'm gonna start talking about stuff while I'm riding my motorcycle. I've teamed up with Pandora's European Motorsports in Chattanooga, and we're doing a podcast together. And so I'm going to be bringing you a lot more motorcycle content. Let me crack this because it is a crisp 90 degrees here in Chattanooga. So with that being said, welcome. So I have 4 motorcycles, and so today we'll talk about the main bike, the bike that I'm on. This is a 2024 Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally. So the difference in the regular V4 and the Rally is this one's set up more for touring and off-road. It's got on-road, off-road suspension, adjustable suspension, traction control, enduro settings, all that good stuff. But it also has basically an 8-gallon tank, so it has over a 300-mile range, which is perfect for traveling and trekking across the country. This one has spoked wheels and 80/20 on-road off-road tires, and the crash bars, as you can see down there. It also has, obviously, like almost all new bikes, Ducati quick shifter, which is amazing and smooth. It has adaptive cruise control. Let's test that out right here. Watch this. And the bike will slow itself down. It'll hit the brakes and everything. As you saw this light up, it has blind spot monitoring. It's got more options than my freaking truck has. This is crazy. So the bike will actually hit the brakes for you. I'm not touching the brakes at all. Look at that. It's crazy. And so it's turning yellow, telling me I'm going too slow to be using cruise control. So I'm gonna take back over. This bike is nuts. Heated grips, heated seats, navigation. Look at that. The bike just stopped for me. I don't even have the cruise control on anymore. So that's this bike almost gives you too much confidence. It's kind of crazy. So but yeah, so it's the V4, the new Multistradas with this engine. It's 10,000 mile oil changes. I've had this bike right at a year. We just did the 10,000 mile service on it. So that's nice. And then you don't have to check the valves every 36,000 miles, which is one of the main reasons that I went with this bike. Before this, I had a Triumph Tiger Rally. I had the 900. I did a lot of traveling on that bike solo, me and the gear, and it was almost too much. I'm over 200 pounds. Me and all my gear, I'm probably pushing closer to 240 to 250, fully kitted out. And then you throw all my camping gear and my clothes and my cooking gear and all that stuff, and we're pushing about 500 pounds on top of these motorcycles. And my girlfriend was going to start traveling with me, so it was time for an upgrade. I needed a bigger full-size ADV, and I like to I don't plan on doing any hardcore off-roading with this bike. Let's be honest, it is just way too expensive. I do not want to be crashing this thing out. This is my baby. I spent most of my motorcycle budget on this one bike. So we like doing the fire roads and the national parks, and you know, little dirt trails and stuff like that. I'll do that to get to a nice camp spot, but we're not taking this thing. We rode through Moab. I did not do any real off-roading while we were over there. So we did a 28-day trip on this bike, 6,500 miles round trip. Her and I on the bike almost every single day. Took a few days off break here and there. We stayed in Colorado for a few days with family, and then on the way home we stayed in Panama City for a few days on the beach. But 2 up on this bike, plus about 200 or 300 pounds worth of gear, riding every day. Not bad at all. It's very comfortable. It's made where you can easily stand up on it, kind of air the boys out, stretch your legs a little bit. You can lean back. We throw a top box on here. When we're traveling, I've got two big waterproof cases that go on top of the side panniers. And so when she's sitting back there, she's got armrests and a backrest. We strap all the camping gear, like the tent and the sleeping bag and all that, goes on top of the top box, so she's got something to kind of lay her head back on, so she can sit back there and take a nap or take pictures or whatever. And then we've got our pack talks, so we can talk to each other, listen to podcasts, listen to moto vlogs, music, any of that stuff. So this bike is amazing for traveling. I am planning on one of my bucket list items is to ride a motorcycle to Prudhoe Bay. I would love to start from Key West. I rode down to Key West, so one thing I wanted to do was ride to the southernmost point of the United States and also the northernmost point. And so I've done the southernmost point, but I would love to hit the northernmost point in one solid sweep, start in Key West and then ride all the way up there. But the way I want to do it, I'm really going to need like 2 to 3 months to get it done. What's up, Popo? I like to take my time, do like 250, 300 miles a day. I like to see the sights. That's why I love traveling by motorcycle, by road. I do a lot of road trips. That's how I prefer to travel. So that's the way I like to do it. So I really want to do that, and I would love to do that on this bike. I think this is the absolute perfect bike for that. This bike would be great in Alaska on the Dalton Highway, and taking it up to the Arctic Circle I think would be an amazing experience. So I plan on keeping this bike for a while. So that was kind of my thinking was when I bought this bike. When I got rid of the Tiger, I traded it in up at Pandora's and upgraded to this one. I was like, look, I might as well just go ahead and get the top of the top. So I'm not wanting to upgrade again in a year. Like, there's really nowhere to go above this except for, I don't know, maybe a BMW GSA when they come out in a few months. But even then, like, this bike is more suited for my style of riding. It's a little sportier, it's a little faster. I mean, this bike's got 170 horsepower and it weighs like 550 pounds. This bike is just ridiculously fast. I've got a CBR 600 that I've had for about 7 or 8 years, and this thing will walk all over that bike. So this is, I've never owned a leader bike, but this is by far the fastest bike that I've ever owned, which is just ridiculous with the way that this thing looks. You look like an ADV dad who is going to be hanging out with a bunch of GSA riders riding down to Starbucks. It's kind of bonkers how fast this bike is for how it looks. It really is. It'll surprise you. The first time Jeff recommended this bike to me, and he was like, I know the kind of riding that you do, and if you've seen the podcast episode where we talked about that, we kind of go a little more in depth. But he was like, look, I know the kind of riding you do. I know how much weight and gear and stuff you're going to be carrying, how far you're going to be going. This is the bike for you. And at that time, I've never had a Ducati before. I'd never even ridden a Ducati. This is the first Ducati I've ever even ridden. And so I wasn't really expecting anything more than just like a big ADV bike. Like my Tiger had like 95 horsepower and it wasn't that much lighter than this bike. And so I wasn't really expecting a super bike, which is almost what this freaking thing is. Especially if you compare it to some of the leader bikes from, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago. This thing is just ridiculous. And so I rode it for the first time and I got on and I was like, oh, whoa, okay. That's surprising. And so I realized I had a quote-unquote off-road capable bike that was also just ridiculously fast. And so this thing is fun. It'll get you in trouble real quick. You won't realize how fast you're going on the highway, if you know what I'm saying, because it's so stable, it's so comfortable. Even with the spoked wheels and the 80/20 tires, this thing still just rips. It's wild. And then with all the options and stuff on it, so when I get back on my 2006 F4i, it is you know, everything's mechanical. That bike is barely fuel injected. I think it was one of the first fuel injected sport bikes, those CBRs from that time. And so the technology is completely different. Like the only option that bike has on it is fuel injection and ABS. So oh, we got some more two-wheelers over here. What's up, guys? Yeah, so this bike has quickly become my favorite bike. That's why I put 10,000 miles on it in the last year, while also riding my other 3 bikes. So I've got this, I've got the F4i, like I mentioned, and then I've got a CRF 250L that I converted to a Supermoto. I'm probably going to do a lot of videos on that one just because it's a little hoon bike and it's really fun to just jump on it and go exploring. You can get places where this bike can't get. It's quick, it's nimble, gets like 70 miles to the gallon, which is really cool. So that's another fun bike I've got. And then I've got a 2010 Harley Street Glide. I'm not really like a Harley guy. I grew up with my dad and all of my uncles riding, and they all had Gold Wings. My dad had a couple of like Honda kind of cruiser-ish bikes, like maybe a Rebel or a Shadow or something, I don't remember. None of my uncles ever really had Harleys. I think they had some here and there, like that they traded on, maybe had for a little while, but they weren't like hardcore Harley guys. Like they were always riding like Yamahas and Hondas and stuff. And so I really didn't even grow up around Harleys. I grew up around bikes in general. And you know, so that was the first Harley I'd ever really had. I was just like, this will be fun. Like I want one of everything. And so I like doing all types of riding, so I kind of experimented with that. And then obviously I was like, this bike is not that great stock. So I started modifying it. I've already changed the wheels and put a carbon fiber fender on it, and I've got a set of T-bars that I haven't installed yet. But I don't know. I honestly don't even know if I'm going to keep it. I've got a couple of other Ducatis that I've kind of got my eyes on that I really would kind of maybe consider selling the Harley to buy. I really want the new Hyper Motard Mono. I really want the new Ducati 698. That'll definitely be my next purchase. Either that or, good Lord, the size of that dog. So that'll be my next purchase. Either that or a true dual sport. I'm kind of between a 300L Rally, since I've already got a 250L, and Jeff is trying to talk me into getting a 390 KTM Adventure. So all right, well, we are let me know, what should I go with? Should I go with the 300L Rally, or should I go with 390 Adventure? And then should I sell the Harley and get a 698 Mono? I think I should. So, well, we are here at the office. I'm gonna go through this ditch and try not to crash. There we go. So I'm gonna pull into the garage over here, since it is Somebody left a bunch of trash in my way. Gotta find out who did that and get on to them. All right, until the next one, I'm out.